Today we're diving into a critical debate in the music industry that's echoing all the way to Congress. We're talking about how songwriters get paid when their music is played in public spaces. It's a battle between musicians and the businesses that use their music, and it's heating up. Recently, members of the U.S. House of Representatives sent a letter to the U.S. Copyright Office raising concerns about how performing rights organizations, or PROs, like BMI and ASCAP, handle royalties for music played in public spaces. So I want to break this down by looking at the main points of contention. Now, first up, there's transparency. That's the big word these days. The representatives are concerned that it's not clear how royalties are distributed, especially to smaller artists. So they're questioning if everyone's getting their fair share from those PROs. Now, I can totally agree with that. I mean, fair share means a lot in the music business because we get such a small share to begin with, and we're asking for transparency. So the representatives, they want a closer look at how royalties are calculated and paid out. So do musicians, to be totally honest. They're asking for more clarity to ensure that all artists, not just the big names, are compensated appropriately. Now, BMI counters this by saying that transparency initiatives like SongView, a tool that offers clear insight into who owns what music, will do the job. They argue that the focus should be on using these existing solutions, not creating more regulations. We've heard that so many times in recent history. Next, the efficiency of the licensing system. With more PROs entering the market, something I didn't know until recently, representatives are worried about the complexity and costs for businesses that play music. Bars, restaurants, etc. Now, the representatives are concerned about the potential monopolistic practices or the complications multiple PROs might bring, increasing licensing fees and administrative burdens for small businesses. Now, BMI sees the rise of new PROs as a sign of a vibrant competitive market and not a problem. They argue that the current system is working and that more regulation could stifle this competition, ultimately harming songwriters. Then there's the issue of fair compensation. How do we ensure songwriters are paid fairly while not overburdening businesses? That overburdening businesses part is tough for me because people playing our music need to pay for the use of that music in public spaces. I'm not talking about AI training, I'm talking about public performances of existing works of material created by human beings. Now, representatives, they're focused on ensuring that businesses have a clear and fair system to license music without it being cost prohibitive, indirectly advocating for a system where creators are fairly compensated without overwhelming licensees. The BMI is all about protecting the livelihood of songwriters, composers, and publishers. They're arguing that any move to reduce royalty payments is an attack on the ability of creators to earn a living from their work, especially with streaming services paying so dang little. Now, on regulation and enforcement, there's a clear divide. Representatives, they're pushing for an inquiry, potentially leading to new regulations or oversight to ensure that the PRO system is fair and transparent. The BMI says, hold on, push back. The new regulations aren't going to be needed. Instead, we suggest enforcing existing laws to protect consumers from deceptive practices, and they stress that the real problem lies with licensees trying to pay less. Enforce existing laws. We don't need new laws. Now, lastly, data and tracking. How do we make sure the right people get paid for the music played? From the representatives' view, they're indirectly hinting at the need for better tracking of music usage to ensure fair royalty distribution, which can apply more burden on PROs to report accurately. BMI suggests that if there's a concern about tracking, the onus should be on licensees to provide better data about the music they use rather than creating more complexity or cost for PROs. I understand both sides of this argument. More data, more transparency. It's a complicated topic. At the end of the day, the artists and composers are the ones that are getting hurt. So what does it mean for you? If you're an artist, this debate can impact how much you earn from your music being played in public. If you own a business that plays music, your costs could change. But here's the interesting part. There's actually some common ground. Both sides want transparency, fair compensation, and an efficient system. So imagine if we could find a way to make licensing simpler, more transparent and fair for everyone involved. That's where the real conversation should be heading. Maybe better data sharing or clear regulations that just don't favor one side over the other. So what do you think? Should there be more regulations, or is enforcement of current laws enough? How can we balance the needs of artists and businesses? So drop your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like and share, all this stuff, click the bells and follow, subscribe, and tell your friends and family. Let's keep the conversation going because your voice matters in this debate. Now in the meantime, go make something great.